Hello and welcome to today's vlog. My name is Callum Etherington, bringing the managers of today up to speed on current affairs in the business world. Now in today's session we will be looking at the growing topic of presenteeism. This can be a very misleading aspect of digital work which is causing many problems for managers from all sectors. After this short vlog you will hopefully have a firm grasp on what presenteeism is fundamentally, how it occurs and what you can do as a manager to prevent it. So without further ado, today we're going to be looking at a day in the life of my good friend Bob. So everyone, this is Bob. As you can see, Bob says hi. Now, a little bit of background on Bob himself. He's a brilliant worker, he always hits his targets, and he's completely committed to the organisation that he's currently employed under. Overall, Bob is the ideal candidate for any vacant position in which you would be looking at the personal spec. Now, Bob's job is primarily focused around a CRM system, or a customer relationship management system for those that are unaware. This involves replying to customers' inquiries, complaints and feedback received via email. The organisation that Bob works for is one of the biggest in the world, meaning that the workload itself simply never seems to end. Bob, however, is a fantastic worker and is able to get through his emails at a rate much higher than his colleagues. His manager never has to worry about Bob not hitting his weekly KPI target. Okay, so let's now go into a standard Monday morning for Bob. So as we can see, it's around about 8 AM and Bob's still in bed. His alarm goes off. Nice and early, he thinks to himself. Moving on to breakfast, it's around about 8:30 now. Thankfully Bob's working from home today so he can take a little bit longer. As we can see, Bob's receiving many notifications about work from his mobile phone. Oh no, not even 9 AM and I'm already snowed under at work. I'd best skip breakfast to start work. Don't want people thinking I'm not committed, Bob thinks to himself. It's now around 9:15 and as we can see, Bob's now at his desk preparing for the busy day of work ahead. Almost as soon as Bob's logged on, he can see there's many emails that he needs to get through. The first thing through Bob's mind is, I hope my boss doesn't think I'm lazy with all these emails. Cutting to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we can see Bob's got through many of the emails since he started. However, due to some urgent emails there, he still feels like he's gotten nowhere. I don't have time to take my lunch. My boss would think I'm a slob leaving work like this, Bob thinks to himself again. Cut to closing time at 5 PM, we can see that Bob's got through an astonishing 102 emails during his working day. However, the only thoughts that are going through in Bob's mind is that he's so exhausted, but he's still more worried about that KPI score. It's now been an hour's overtime and Bob has done even more work. Oh no, an hour overtime and I'm still not done. I can't take any more. I'll just have to try my best to get caught up tomorrow, Bob thinks to himself. After a long day's hard work, we can see Bob's now finally relaxing and doing his favourite activity, reading his favourite book. But what's this? Another notification. Yet another work reminder regarding the responsibilities that he must undertake tomorrow. Even now, Bob's thinking to himself of the work that he must get done in the morning. By 9 PM, our good friend Bob, exhausted and fatigued, goes to sleep ready for the same routine tomorrow. In favour of not meeting his manager's expectations, Bob continues this routine every day for the next 3 weeks. As you can imagine, this has a huge impact on Bob's quality of work. Due to the exhaustion and fatigue, Bob's customer feedback becomes negative. His productivity decreases massively, leading to his manager having no option but to give him a disciplinary. Devastated by this, Bob has no choice but to take sick leave due to stress. Now on to the analysis. Now from all this you may be thinking, how is this my responsibility, how can this be prevented, or how does this affect me? The harsh reality is that the responsibility is shared by both yourself and your employees. You need to understand the differences between your staff members, understanding that one person's needs are completely different from another. Whilst it might seem an advantage to allow your staff to work when they shouldn't be, this will ultimately lead to burnout, which will leave you in a much harder position to manage. Even smaller tasks, such as regularly checking in with your employees, will allow you to spot the signs of fatigue much earlier. If you do spot a team member approaching burnout, it is vital that you give them the support and resources that they need to stabilise. It is by promoting this positive team culture that it will stop workers like Bob from feeling shame or guilt in needing a break. So guys, that concludes today's video. Please leave any questions down in the comments below. Join us next week where I'll be discussing the complex topic of inclusive working practices.